So the first thing we're going to get into is going to be setting up the Terraform provider, but we also have to install Terraform on your machine as well. So let's go ahead and get that started. First thing you're going to want to do is head over to the Terraform website, which will also be in the description just in case you don't want to manually go for it, and install Terraform on your respective operating systems. There's going to be a tab for manually installing it, and then there's also going to be Homebrew on OS X, which I have opted to do since I have Homebrew and like using that as my package manager. You know, you can use Chocolatey on Windows, and then for Linux, you can follow those instructions. I already have it installed. So if I go here and say Terraform -- version, you can see that I have a version of Terraform already installed and ready to go. I could update to 1.63, but I'm going to leave it as is for the sake of this tutorial. So make sure you install that before you proceed with any of the next steps in this series. Now, the next thing we're going to do is head over to the Airbyte HQ Terraform provider page. This is where you can get instructions on how to download the Airbyte modules, as well as go through the documentation of how to set up all your different sources, your destinations, as well as create a connection through the Terraform provider. Now, it is important to note that the Terraform provider is built on top of the Airbyte API. And so anything inside of the Airbyte API is going to be essentially how you're interacting with the Airbyte platform or the Airbyte services through the provider. So that's going to help in a sense of like how we're going to structure the Terraform provider right now. But the first thing we're going to do is look on the website here, and you can see this Use Provider button. You're going to click this, and it's going to give you a template of how to properly structure our initial Terraform module using the Airbyte provider. So let me go ahead and copy and paste this. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to create a new directory here. So I'm going to make a directory here called Terraform _ tutorial. And then I'm going to cd into that. And I'm going to create a main.tf file. Now let me go ahead and open that up in a VS Code. And you can see that I have a main.tf file here. And this is where the bulk of our logic is going to go for the Terraform project here. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is copy and paste what I just did from the Terraform provider page onto my main.tf file. Now, it is also important to note that if you are using VS Code or any sort of IDE, it's probably good to have some sort of extensions here. So if I go through my extensions, you can see that I have at least two. So I have the HashiCorp one from HashiCorp that includes syntax highlighting and auto-completion for Terraform. I also have one, add some language support to my Terraform files here within VS Code to help and improve the experience. So if you're curious, you can go ahead and install those. I'll have those also linked in the description as well, in case you are using VS Code here. But one thing's to note, so we're going to see a Terraform object here, and wrapped inside of that is going to be the required provider. So we're requiring this to be able to use the Airbyte provider here. Now, within that is going to be Airbyte. We're providing the source of the provider itself, which is going to come from our repo, as well as the versioning. Now, you don't have to. You can omit the version, but I do recommend that you have the version there so that, in case that in the future you choose to upgrade, things may break, so you know which version is going to be stable for your current instance of your Terraform modules here. Now you can see down here we have configuration options within the Airbyte provider. So we're going to go ahead and fill that out to provide the correct information to start up an Airbyte instance. So there is a couple things we need to know for the information that we need to provide to the Airbyte provider. Now it's going to depend on whether or not you're using Airbyte open source or using Airbyte Cloud. Both are going to be very different in terms of what you provide. And you can see here on the documentation that we have for the Terraform provider that we do provide like the two instances that you're going to need here. So if you're using Airbyte Cloud, you're going to be using this bearer auth property here. And that pretty much is going to be the API key. And that's what we're going to be using today in this tutorial. Is we're going to be creating an Airbyte API key using the developer portal, which I'll show you now. You can also find that link in the description as well. If you're using Airbyte open source, you're going to be providing the username and password here so that you can authenticate to your Docker containers there, which we do require now as a security measure. You're also going to be providing the server URL, which is where we're interacting with the Airbyte API server in order to be able to make calls to your Airbyte instance of Airbyte open source. Now, because we're using Airbyte Cloud, we can omit these three properties here, but just in case you wanted to use open source, those are what you're going to be inputting there. We're just going to be providing an Airbyte API key here. So let's go ahead and go to the developer portal, create an API key, and then get that set up from within the Terraform provider itself. So I'm now in the Airbyte developer portal. So what I'm going to do is going to log in here, and it's going to ask for my credentials typically, but I've already logged in, so I have it saved. What I'm going to go do is go to API keys. I already have one, but let's create a new one. I'm going to create a new API key, and I'm going to name this something, Terraform tutorial. I'm going to hit generate, and I'm going to copy this and paste it somewhere where I can save it Obviously, you can take this what you want, but this will be deleted by the time that you do this recording, so don't even try. You can also download it as well in case you don't want to save this somewhere and you just want a file there. So now that I've gone and saved it, we are going to go back into VS Code here. And the configuration option, like we saw, is going to be the bare auth. And as you can see, because I have my extensions, it's going to auto-complete the actual option we need. And this is going to be the API token. Now, you may know that it's probably not best practice to just have a string out on your main file here. So what we're actually going to do is create a new file from within our directory and name it variables.tf. And this is where we're going to store all of our variables within the Terraform project itself to kind of keep a secret and keep security top of mind. And from here, we're going to reference the API key that we'll store from within the variables file. And how we're going to reference that is we're going to say var.api_key. And that's going to give us be able to reach into the variables file here. And then we're going to look for the property called API key. But we're going to have to create that first. So let's go ahead and create that. There's going to be a couple variables here, but obviously for the first one, we're going to do API key. So we're going to say variable, and that's going to auto-complete it. But the one thing we need is going to be the API_key. Its type is going to be a type of string, and we can actually give it a default value. And within the default value, I'm going to give it my API key. So let's do that. I'm going to hit Option Z for word wrap. So this is going to be my whole API key, and this is going to be the default value here. So if I go ahead and hit save, you can see that my error message here on the main file has gone away. So now we are actually giving it the API key for the bare auth property, and we can go ahead and save this. Now what we're going to do is going to go into my terminal. I'm going to say Terraform init. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull down the provider plugin from the Terraform page. And then what we're going to do is hit Terraform LAN. And what that's going to tell us is pretty much going to show what changes and what modifications is going to make to our infrastructure here. There's not going to be any changes here, but if I hit Terraform apply, we've applied the changes, and we now have the Terraform provider working and all set up. So the next step is going to be creating a source using the Terraform provider. So now let's go ahead and set that up in the next video.